please welcome Mr. Red Wemette.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Well, hello, folks. It is Monday, the 3rd of October, 2022. And here we are, another Monday with Red. This is going to be interesting for some of you folks. Some of it's not going to be interesting because it was an era that was totally different. In 1976, Johnny Rodgers, who was in prison with Alva, Marshall Caifano, unexpectedly came by my house, and he was driving an Eldorado, a 74 Eldorado that he got when he got out of prison in 1974, leased it. But at any rate, Marshall helped him out with that, Marshall Caifano. At any rate, he pulls up. I was doing some rehabbing on my house, and I was in and out in the front. I lived at 4121 North Richmond at that time. And he pulls up. Richmond's a one-way street. And he pulls up in front of my house, and I walked over towards the car. I wondered what he was doing there. And he opens up the trunk, and inside the trunk are two cubes. They looked like they might be hay. There were two cubes. They were probably 2 feet by 2 feet. And they were wrapped in plastic. But one was kind of red, and the other one was just a harvest gold color or whatever. It was kind of strange. But he told me, he said, it's marijuana. It's pot. And he said, this Panama red is really going for a lot of money right now. And I said, whoa, I've been told by Joey Lombardo, you don't sell that stuff. And he said, what he doesn't know won't hurt him. And I was kind of taken back by it. First of all, I wasn't a dealer, period. And I wasn't a user either. I never used marijuana. So it was just what it was. At any rate, let me say hi to some of you folks. You like my shirt? Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. I kind of like it too. Yeah, the old caddies were really different. That had a big trunk in it because the engine was in the front. It was an Eldorado. So had a very large trunk in the back. Yes, that's exactly right. Big block, front wheel drive. You got it. It was something else. Hi, Gary. How you doing? Hey, Mo. How you doing? You're ready for my stories. Okay, well, I'll get on with the story then. And you've got. Okay. Bill Kirschmeyer, how you doing, buddy? Okay, we'll stop the story a little bit. Tommy, I did not get hit. I'm up in the Panhandle. I got beat up in 2018 with Hurricane Michael. But the sun was shining here the whole time. So we didn't get hit with anything. It got cold here, though. A cold front came in. But everything was okay. Jim Magnifici. So did you want to be known as Panama Red? No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, I didn't want anything to do with this deal at all. And I sent him packing. I said, this is not my forte. This is not what I do. And he said, well, he was looking for people to unload product. And I didn't pay any attention to it. I just said, go away. At any rate, Rodgers did go away. And time passed, and he was eventually arrested in smuggling quaaludes into Mexico. And when he was arrested, they sent Hank Schmidt from the FBI mob squad down to debrief him because he eventually testified against Joey Lombardo, Marshall Caifano, anybody that he had contact with that they could use him for. They actually used him for. And thank you, Holman. There is a song called Panama Red. Okay, thank you, Scott H. At any rate, he, like I said, Hank Schmidt went down to debrief him. And many things came out of the debriefing. Hank Schmidt was my control agent at the time. And when he came back, I didn't know he was debriefing him. So when he came back, he told me that the first thing he told me was kind of interesting. He said, you know, I was debriefing him. I couldn't keep a straight face while I was debriefing him because I was asking him a lot of questions. And what happened was oh, Bill, I gotta put that up there. Not every FBI agent is the kind of person you want to work with. I'll tell you that much. You're absolutely right. At any rate, I keep saying any rate. And what happened was time went by and he debriefed him and he came back and he told me, he said, the first thing that really stood out to me was the fact that he said, you know, you're asking me all these questions. He said, you know who you got to get a hold of and you got to, you know, work on is this guy, Red. He knows everything about everybody. And so Hank told me that, and I just burst out laughing. But he also told me something else. He chartered a ship in Panama in my name and smuggled all this marijuana into California. And he was making trips back and forth, back and forth. He ran a U-Haul truck. This is back in 1976. It was totally different than now. But he flooded Chicago with marijuana at that time. And Panama Red, from what I understand, was a very in-demand type thing. The other thing that came in with it was what they called Acapulco Gold. And that was supposed to be very good too. But the ship being chartered in my name kind of upset me. It really did. And he showed me the papers. It was a big ship. It was a cargo ship. But it got busted by customs. And that's how customs went through the FBI. They ran my name. They never published it in any papers or anything like that because I was an FBI informant. So that's how it went. And what happened to the ship, I have no idea. The only reason I even knew about it was because of the FBI, and it is in my file, my 302. Rodgers eventually went away for multiple crimes, and he was already out of prison a couple times, so he did time with Marshall in Atlanta, Marshall Caifano. So by the time he went away the last time, it was for permanent. He was in witness protection, and I don't even know if he's alive today. Last time I even saw him was at Family Secrets, and we never spoke or anything like that, but I did see him on television, and I did see him on closed circuit television as Family Secrets in the trial. He testified he only reinforced what I said on the stand. He amplified it. But that's the way it was in 1976. Now, that was a bicentennial year, and he had Florida plates on that car. He leased it in Florida. probably where he used to live. He went home when he was paroled. He probably went there, and he was on parole at the time too. He didn't care about anything. I remember it distinctly because the license plates were bicentennial plates. They were red, white, and blue, and they had flags and everything else. Some of you people might not have been around then, or that you might have been children then, and you really didn't know. You didn't see these things. I have not been able to even look one up on the internet to find a bicentennial Florida or Illinois plate. I just couldn't find them. Tony, yours. Oh, yes. Boutique weed, Acapulco, Panama red. That's what it was, Tony. That's exactly what it was. Hi, Dave and Wolfie. How you doing? Hope you folks are doing good. Named weed, so it's so cool for hip and the uppie stoners. Just buy the weed. That's so nice. Okay. Automobile. The red and gold we had was called Colombian. It was the best ever. Didn't stink like stuff. Yeah, it wasn't dirt weed. It had a different smell to it. It wasn't that recognizable like the stuff today. My vice, folks, cigarettes. How you doing, Big Tuna? Haven't seen you in a while. Last week. Julie M. I remember it well. I was 10 years old then. Well, I was double that and some. Jim, weed is illegal in Iowa. We're behind the times in so many ways there. They have a card. In Florida, they have a marijuana card. Most of the states got it now, the cards. Even Utah, which is a very conservative state, they have marijuana cards too, medical marijuana, which I hear everybody's using. A lot of people are using anyway. States are making money off of that. Eventually, they're going to put the weed dealer out of business on the street. Oh. Frank Carrero. Parodies all over the damn place. Okay. How you doing, Michael Graham? You're a little bit late, but your president accounted for. Hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you, buddy. Scott H. You've got a Florida medical marijuana card. Yes, I would guess you do. I would guess you do. Okay, I guess this is drug day. Tie stick. I've heard of them. One whiff and bam. I think it was laced with something, wasn't it? You're a little late, but that guy's name is George. Okay. Living good. Thank you. You know, somebody suggested that I get one for edibles. And I said, why? I'm not in pain. I don't have the problems. But they said, oh, yeah, you could sell to us what you don't use. And I didn't want to do that. Aside from that, in our state here, if you have a medical marijuana card, you can't have a concealed weapons permit. You cannot have both. And it's also one of those things that they notified DMV about, that you have a medical marijuana card. Yeah, they were fun. I had a lot of fun during those days, but I was busy working. Michael Graham, I wouldn't doubt it. I absolutely wouldn't doubt it. Illinois is, I don't know. I don't agree with the laws there. You know, I heard Jim Magnifici. I heard stories about paraquat, and some of the people that did smoke with paraquat died. They actually died. Your boy, Roy Boy. A big no. I don't know what that means. There's a lot of pot stores on every block in LA and San Francisco. I wouldn't doubt it. California's always been that way. As a matter of fact, back in the 70s, I used to hear people say that this is, it came in Maui Wowie or something like that. It came in from California. There was a lot of pot being moved in. Julie M., you want me to pet Duchess for you, huh? Duchess, come here, baby. Come over here. Yes. Okay, she's getting petted for you. Okay, same chemical? No wonder. It killed a lot of people. It really did. They had lung disorders, all different kinds of things. Eventually, cancer. Some people, Jim Jagger, some people were better off, in my opinion, in smoking weed than using alcohol. The reason why they get violent with alcohol, they get crazy with alcohol. With weed, they would not. They certainly wouldn't. Michael Graham, paraquat was the most common during the Reagan administration war on drugs. Spray the crops, paraquat was one of the strategies to kill it. Well, it didn't kill it. Some of it got out. And I fear you're right, Bill Kirschmeyer. As soon as they figure out how to tax everybody on a federal tax stamp, they'll do it. Ms. Can't be wrong. You aren't wrong. U.S. stoners are peaceful people. Yes, they are, as a rule. Your boy, Roy, boy. I was correcting the previous sentence, Red, pertaining to the no statement. Okay. Thank you, Roy. Thank you for your comment. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for your comments. Dave and Wolfie. Hit that like button, folks. I need all the help I can get. If you join me, you want to see me here on Mondays, hit the like button. Joey Lombardo was not happy with any of this. I can tell you that much. He really wasn't. John McShane, California is more recreational now. Medical is a much smaller part of the market. I don't doubt it. It's wide open. It's like when I was in Las Vegas, there were people walking down the street with what do they call them? Blunts. They were wrapped up in like a cigar paper, and they were walking down the street. You could smell them a mile away. One thing that I got a kick out of in Las Vegas was they had big signs everywhere, no smoking, and I smoke. So I'm walking down the hallway on my floor, and there's big puffs coming out from underneath the doors of, you could smell it, marijuana. And I said, I'm in a hotel room. I can't smoke cigarettes, but they're smoking marijuana. And you could smell it all over the floor. I didn't think it was correct. Anyway, I was overwhelmed with the idea. Jim Jagger making an announcement for you folks. It was all, I was kind of put back by the fact, overwhelmed by the fact that this ship was, I don't know, $1 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It wasn't in good shape. It was a junker kind of, but was in my name. It was registered in my name. William R. Wemette. It was registered in my name. So it kind of got me. And I thought you folks might want to hear about it. Tony R's. Thank you. Okay, do we have any questions today? If we have any questions, we have time to answer them. Alva Johnson Rodgers. We called him Johnny Rodgers. That's who put the ship in my name. They needed some dummy. Somebody they wouldn't even, an expendable person. That was me. The only thing that saved my life is the FBI in that one. What eventually became of the ship, it was confiscated by the U.S. Customs. Anthony, you're going to make me laugh too loud here. You prefer Coke, but the bottle gets stuck in your nose. Okay. Julie kind of likes your comment too, I think, Anthony. Okay, we have a question. Speaking of ships, Red, has it been expensive on the upkeep and maintenance to my own boat? Yes, it is. Not the maintenance, the storage fees are expensive, very expensive. This can't be wrong. Where are you located? It's 64 today by you, huh? It warmed up here after the hurricane. Right now it's 80 degrees out. It was 55, 60. It was bad. You know, I wasn't used to the change. We went from 90s down to the 50s at night and got up to 60 something in the daytime. Wasn't exactly what I was used. It took me a while. My blood started to thicken up. Jim, did you say before that Rodgers used some of the equipment? No, that was after that to make the Quaaludes. He manufactured the Quaaludes, and then he got caught with that going into Mexico. He kind of left. Nobody wanted him around. I mean, he wasn't well liked by that whole crew. The whole Grand Anonton crew did not like him. Julie M., how far is your boat from where you live, Red? About 3, 4, or 5 miles. 5-minute drive. You're right, Scott. It did cool down after the hurricane. It's 77 by you. It's only 80 by me. Yesterday it was 75. So that's good. It's nice over here. Jim Jagger. Joseph DeFranzia was arrested for a large-scale pot for. I read that in Mike Burns' room in Chicago Outfit Past and Present News articles. I read all about it. I did not know about it. That was after I left. Ryan Brown, you work for Lowe's Home Improvement, and you had a coworker hit with a forklift before the drug test. He told the management that he had a medical marijuana card, but he was fired anyway. That's the employer's choice. I mean, nobody says you can't fire somebody that or hire somebody that doesn't meet your specifications as an employer. And as you know, so many people say that. Tony Harris, Quaaludes were bad news, date rape drug. You know, I never understood. The only time I even came close to them, even when Rodgers was making, I just saw him manufacture thousands of them out on the table, drying out. But Philly Kozo, Jimmy Kozo's son, little Philly, used to hold at the Teamsters Union had an apartment over at Lake Point Towers, and they let him use it every now and then for parties. And at the parties, I was invited to go, and I figured, well, you know, I'll go along, but I backed out because as people were going in, there are lots of girls there, lots of things going on, but as people were going in, somebody had Quaaludes. And they said, you have to take one to come into the party. And I just, to the rear of the line, get in the car, go home. It's not for me. I did not like being out of control of anything. And I don't know actually what they do to people. I never actually saw anybody that had taken Quaaludes. If I did, I didn't know what they took. I have seen people messed up. Ryan Brown, it is his discretion. If I was employing people and I didn't like something that they were doing, I would just pass them up. And if they lied about it on their application, which this guy that you're talking about, when he had an application to go to work, he probably falsified the application because sometimes people ask you, are you taking any drugs or medication or this or that? And if you didn't disclose it, I can see why Lowe's said goodbye. They don't care about a medical marijuana card. I can understand that completely. Your boy, Roy Boy. Most companies that won't hire you with a medical card, it's not federally legal yet. So the insurance companies will not approve the business and workers. Yeah, that's the point. That is the point. Insurance companies will not insure you. They may cancel your whole policy just because of one person. And that's expensive, very expensive. This can't be wrong. Your boy, Roy Boy, you're exactly right. It's not legal yet. The feds haven't figured out a way. They have figured out a way. They had a way years ago. They don't want to make it legal. It gives DEA something else to do. Michael Graham, Lake Point Towers happens to be the only residential building built east of Lakeshore Drive. Yes, it was a drive out there. Paula Lawrence used to live out there until she moved on to Scott Street. And for those of you that don't know who Paula Lawrence is, she owned Capital News in Chicago. It used to belong to Reuben Sturman. He put it in her name because he was indicted. And when he came back after his son came back to get it and said, it was my dad's, and he just signed it over and put it in your name. And she said, my name's on the license, it's on the corporation. I stood up against the FBI and everybody else. So I'm not giving it up, and I don't blame her. Ryan Brown. He absolutely did. You just refreshed my memory, Red. That was on my application when I if I were on any prescriptions that would hinder my ability to do work. Yes, he lied on his application, Ryan. That's what I was suggesting. It was a guess on my part, but you just confirmed it. Okay, folks. Well, that kind of ends my story for today. And thank you all for coming by. And God bless you. Have a great week. And hope to see you Redness Day. Okay? God bless you all. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for hitting the like button. And for all you people that wrote reviews on my book on Amazon, I just saw a couple new ones on Amazon that you folks wrote reviews. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it very much. And also, I'll tell you the link for my book is in below the description here. It can be purchased at redwemette.com. redwemette.com. That's the autograph version. If you don't want an autograph version, you can go to Amazon or any fine store and order it, and they'll give it to you. The same as ordering through me. And same price, too. I ship it out to you for the same price they do, and mine's autographed. Anyway, have a great afternoon, a great week, and hopefully I'll see you Redness Day. God bless everyone. Bye all.